They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your home. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them, no, it's 'cause you are. They'll gladly pay you by the hour for a minute or so, so you can sign off on the towers where they'll piss on your homes. And if you feel like you're just powerless to answer them, no, it's 'cause you are. It's 'cause you are. They'll gladly stagnate a living wage, snap the chains and bury it. Labor slaves in rusty cages dragged behind a chariot, led by Mr. Racial Jungle, Joseph R. Iscariot, fighting over scraps as they barrage us all with variants and BuzzFeed clickbait, straight until we're paralyzed, trying to distract us from the concentration camps that Biden swore he'd close but only chose to amplify. With 50-something kids in cages made for 5 to occupy. No, she hasn't seen the camps, but Harris swears they're paradise. Tells us the facilities are safe, and that right down to the women, they are regularly sterilized. Then she throws her head back and she proceeds to laugh, the sort of heartless cackle you'd expect from someone working steadfastly on behalf of the virus and a Congress full of parasites. And honey, where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly the narrative expected out the verified. I was busy pleasing bird leeches by the terabyte. Teach them all to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren, say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. I contracted rabies from a feral mike. God, I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights. Forced to change its habits to adapt and just survive. And now it's safe to say that some are thriving in the moment and throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might. Honey, I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near, and all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of a rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Now if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. You see, they'll pay you hourly, but tax them each apart. They'll build a shining tower made of loopholes and cards and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't. Because we aren't. They'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and they will build a shining tower made of loopholes and cards, and they tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't. Because we aren't.
Well, you know I can listen to you sing the phone book. That's what I say every single week when I play your song. I'm like, yeah, and the gentleman who could sing the phone book. Oh my God, your voice. And thank you for sharing that new song as
of course.
well. If you guys like that, which I'm sure you did, you can get it from Jesse. It is an original. Jesse, is your at... what's your at?
Jesse_Jett. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and where can you get that?
That song actually is about 4 days old. That's not really up anywhere just yet.
Oh, okay.
That's something that I'll be releasing soon. That's going to be on an album coming out soon called The Grift. That'll be a track on. So yeah.
Who is that about?
The grift actually came about from just everything that I've been accused of being in my couple years on Twitter. Russian bot, grifter, paid Hillary Clinton operative is maybe my favorite. That one came around during the M4A march last summer, is that I was being paid by Hillary to tank Nina Turner's campaign. Which, as I've said, I mean, she kind of did a good enough job of that on her own. She didn't need any help.
Ouch! But yes, accurate.
It cracked me up today when she was just like, Medicare for all, I'll fight for that. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Oh, Nina said that today.
Yeah, Nina said that today. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was the face I made too. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Takes a lot of gall to say that. Takes a tremendous amount of gall to say that. I'll fight for that. I wouldn't last year, but this year I'm all about it.
I'm pretty sure that's the woman who I spoke to personally and asked her to be the keynote. And she said she'd love to if her schedule would allow it, and then never got back to me. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the picture of her with AOC.
Yeah.
That woman.
Yep. Couple hours away doing some other event. Yep. Mm-hmm. Her.
The one that couldn't even give our 56 marches a shout out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. And how are people responding in the comments?
You know, obviously you have your people that are still like, all right, Nina, I'll fight with you to the end. I was happy to see an awful lot of people that were just like, too late. Sorry, if the time to do that was when we had, like you said, a massive series of marches going on across the country. You know, for just regular people to put that together the way they did was astounding, especially in the face of so many people trying to just tear it down and shit on it for their own, you know, sad reasons. It was really beautiful. You know, we didn't have the biggest crowd in Columbus, but we had a crowd of people, and that was all we needed. We had enough that it was phenomenal. And yeah, the easiest thing in the world is just to give them a shout out, like you said, just to be like, hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is grassroots organizing. This is what I'm all about. And if you miss that opportunity, here it is now. Look what happens. You try to say you're for it, and a lot of people realize that you say that when it's convenient, but unfortunately, it's not going to deliver for us.
Yeah, I mean, I have considered asking her to come back on my show. Mm-hmm. Just so I can address that, but I think she'd probably be wise to. I mean, I'm one of 12 lead national organizers.
Right.
I think she kind of.
You had pre-TYT Nina on, so that's, I think, two different worlds.
Oh my god, you know? I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my god, yes. No, I'm sorry, none of them come on my show. Like, people I won't ask. Like. No Emma Vigelands, no TYTs, none of them.
Yeah.
No. This is an anti shit lib zone. Yep. But I digress. So thank you all so much for tuning in for this week's news. And of course, you just heard from Jett. So we are going to get started with a few videos I found on the Hellscape name Twitter, which is still quite entertaining. A shout out to Andy, my buddy who helps me from the back end. That's what she said. Andy, you can show the first one.
You know how much it costs to make that insulin? Less than $10. You know how much it costs on average nationwide for a monthly supply of insulin, which you needed every single month? $656, as high as $1,000. Imagine being the parent, making the minimum wage or twice the minimum wage, and having a child with type 1 diabetes, knowing that if you can't, and have no insurance, knowing if you cannot get that money for the insulin, your child may die. In addition to your child, it strips you of your dignity, damn it. Can you imagine looking at your child and you know what they need and not be able to do it?
Whew. Boy,
So
we really went from a 2 to a 10 pretty fast, didn't we?
oh my God, there are a lot of things he says which
Mhm.
offend me, obviously. This I'm giving top 5.
Mhm.
This was so fucking repugnant.
Mhm.
First of all, you're going to talk about minimum wage. You had the opportunity to bump it to
Mhm.
15 and didn't.
Mhm.
You literally removed the insulin discount Trump had on
Exactly.
insulin. You
That was a
literally haven't
softball
even
pitch,
given
and he
people
just
the shit public option you
yeah.
said you were going to.
Yep.
You said you're going to bypass Medicare for all. It's in a
Mhm.
pandemic. Millions of people, over 50 million people uninsured, over 50 million people underinsured.
Yep.
And you're acting like you give a fuck when your son had cancer and you had over $100,000 in medical debt and you had
Mhm.
Obama come up to you and say, I'll bail you out.
Mhm.
That's fucking privilege. That
Mhm.
is privilege. This is so fucking disgusting. Like, if I were there, I'd be in jail right now. Legit. Like, I would have thrown a shoe. Like,
there are so many things he says like that I can imagine him giving portions of that speech to a room full of donors, like the kind of people that he said nothing would change. I can imagine him saying that whole first part, you know how much insulin costs to produce? $10. You know how much it sells for? $650 up to $1,000, and they burst into applause. And he's like,
yeah.
that was this guy. You know, like honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised in the least bit if that's a kind of closed door thing. It could literally just take his highlights of those speeches, and it's just how does he portray it? Because it's the same
And
shit that I'm sure he's aware that he did, and someone's reaping the benefit, and he's proud of himself for it, you know?
And does he not sound like he is shaming the parents?
Yeah.
Because to me,
I know,
it
that's what I love
does.
is that
Like,
anger. Well,
like,
again, there's also that little bit of just angry confusion and that kind of look around real quick and have to be like, where am I? Oh, that's right. I'm in the middle of, it's just
his eyeballs about to start bleeding again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot.
He's about to start with racial slurs that are actually stutters. Yeah, a whole bunch of shit's about to go down.
God.
That to me was just so, as a disabled person, as a blind person, as a Medicare for all activist, as a humanitarian, as someone who has a conscience and a heart, that was so just so epically bad.
And
And of
what's
course
really
you have people, well, what was the context? Motherfucker,
exactly.
there is no context.
And that's the problem, even with everything he's done so blatantly, there are so many people that are going to be like, look how empathetic he's being. See, that's my president. That's, he is aware of what needs fixing, and it'll a bunch of people will bite. That's absolutely going to work still.
Yeah, it satiates them. Like,
yeah,
he's not mean on Twitter.
yep,
He knows he's wrong.
yep.
He's a hero. Andy, you can show the next one.
And then quickly, a UK court is now allowing Julian Assange to appeal his extradition to the United States. The Justice Department, as you know, isn't commenting. But what about the president? He says press freedom is critical for democracy, so why is he continuing to pursue this case? Is the reason that he's pursuing this Trump-era case because Julian Assange embarrassed the Democratic Party in 2016?
Again, this is under the purview of the Department of Justice, so I don't have any comment from here. Go ahead.
Yo, that journalist, like...
Yeah, seriously. Yep, and
I mean,
and she's asked before too, which obviously very few people do. It's
and we should be knowing any day. If Julian was found to hopefully, at least he's allowed to appeal. At least we know that his appeal in writing would be due, I believe, on Monday, which he is doing. So. I mean, I'm terrified. If he comes to the States, he does not get a fair trial. He's going to be killed. Like, it's wrapped. And, the fact that he is literally only in prison in Belmarsh because of the fact that Biden wants him extradited here. That is the only reason. And why the fuck can you extradite someone to a country they've never lived in?
Exactly.
It's never been done.
Yep.
So fucked up. What do you anticipate happening with Julian? I know there's a million, options, but
yeah. I mean, I don't want to be right, but I don't think they've gone to all these lengths to all of a sudden just kind of throw us a bone. Especially, I think the more and more people are aware right now, it seems like they're going to push back harder. But at the same time, it's nice to see that we've got an awful lot of people. It took plenty of people long enough, but there are an awful lot more people now speaking up about him than there were, last year. Obviously, they're trying to move the goalposts with how long he had to file, but no matter how much of a pessimist I might want to be about it, I'm trying to stay hopeful that we've got a tremendous amount of pressure, and like now's the time. We're not going to get another chance to get people on board. And obviously, they love to talk a big game about press freedom and how much journalistic integrity matters. But the most important free speech case we have right now with a journalist, they're just gonna they made it pretty clear they wanted to just starve him out and kill him slowly through the legal process, through just drawing things out as long as possible. So
absolutely, and they found that they were going to extradite him on Human Rights Day when two journalists received the Nobel Peace Prize. It's a big old fuck you. Like, it is a fuck you.
Exactly.
And there are still many shitlibs who honestly think this is about 2016.
I know.
Honestly think that.
Exactly. Yep.
It's
it's mind-blowing. It really is.
I mean, cognitive dissonance is a cancer. We see it every fucking day. Like, believing something to create your own narrative. Like, you ever get jealous of people like that and say, just for 24 fucking hours, I would like to just turn my brain off and be like, ignorance is bliss.
It's got to be nice. For sure.
Right? Like, some people are like, no, don't say that. We have to stay aware. Dude, I'm just talking 24 fucking hours. Okay?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want.
Yep.
Turn the brain off. Andy, you can show the next video.
Okay, well, that's quite a mouthful there. So you said actions such as these suggest otherwise. Suggest meaning they suggest they're not interested in talks and they're going to go ahead with some kind of what action are you talking about?
One, the actions I've just pointed to. The fact that Russia continues to engage in disinformation campaigns.
You made an allegation that they might do that. Have they actually done it?
What we know, Matt, is what I have just said, that they have engaged in this activity. In this planning activity. But let me because obviously this is not the first time we've made these reports public. You'll remember that just a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry, made what report public?
If you'll let me finish, I will tell you what report we made public. We told you a few weeks ago that we have information indicating Russia also has already prepositioned a group of operatives to conduct a false flag operation in eastern Ukraine. So that, Matt, to your question, is an action that Russia has already taken.
It's an action that you say that they have taken, but you have shown no evidence to confirm that. And I'm going to get to the next question here, which is, what is the evidence that they play? I mean, this is like crisis actors, really? This is like Alex Jones territory you're getting into now. What evidence do you have to support the idea that there is some propaganda film in the making?
Matt, this is derived from information known to the U.S. government, intelligence information that we have declassified. I think you know.
Okay, well, where is it? Where is this information?
It is intelligence information that we have declassified.
Well, where is it? Where's the declassified information?
I just delivered it.
No, you made a series of allegations.
Would you like us to print out the topper? Because you will see a transcript of this briefing that you can print out for yourself.
That's not evidence, Ned. That's you saying it. That's not evidence. I'm sorry.
What would you like, Matt?
I would like to see some proof that you can show that
Matt, you have been
that shows that the Russians are doing this. Ned, I've been doing this for a long time.
I know that was my point.
You
You have been doing this for quite a while. You know that when we declassify intelligence
That's
information,
right. And I
we do so in a means. We do so with an eye to protecting sources and methods.
Is not going to fall. I remember a lot of things. So where is the
you can
declassified
stop it
information?
here.
Other
If
than
you guys want to see
coming
this
out
full
here
video,
and saying,
it's like 10 minutes, and I have it on my Twitter, but this guy is the epitome of a fucking douche canoe. Like, what a fucking idiot. Oh man, this dude is punk rock as fuck. He's just like, where's the proof? Like, now they're talking about false flag themselves. Like in the past, when people have called out false flags, they're like, your conspiracy theories, where's your, foil hats and stuff like that. And now they're legit saying they caught a false flag attack. Like, this shit is so fucking bananas. Yep. What's your thoughts, Jesse?
Well, I just love whenever he gets really pressed by a journalist, he gets so fed up and he does those looks like almost like when Ellen DeGeneres is doing an interview and she doesn't like something, she like looks at her producers. There's that quick like he's just glancing at someone like, can we yank them out of the fucking room or something? Like he's just a step away from just being, Mary had a little lamb. I'm not going to fucking hear it.
He probably went back and like cried in the fetal position and like tried to get Matt like banned from ever interviewing him again.
It's so funny because I think most people, it just wears them down if you just talk them in circle. Exactly. It is that same the Jen Psaki school of is this Psaki's brother? Absolutely, the Jen Psaki school of brain melting deflection. That her clone, one from the same batch, the same factory that made Jen Psaki.
Did you say the same badge?
Yeah, same batch. No.
Oh my god! I was like, wow, okay, I didn't think
that's
that.
Awfully
but I guess that's how you can describe brother and sister. I'm drinking, don't blame me.
But it really is. It's like if you just deflect long enough, most journalists go, I don't have I can't do this anymore. And they stop. This guy doesn't stop and keeps pressing and pressing. And it's like the befuddled look on a Jedi when their mind powers don't work on someone. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, I know. That's why this is so badass. Like a lot of people would have stopped and just been like, dude, you're not going to answer. He was like, at the very least, he knew he wasn't going to get answers, but he was like, I'm going to expose this dude. Yep. At the very least, I'm going to show for 10 minutes. And then he's like, what do you want, Matt? Like, you really want to ask him that, dude? Because you look weak as fuck. Oh, my God. That's too good. Andy, do you want to show the next one?
Is that an oil tanker or is it cargo ship?
Yeah, come on, stand.
Andy, do you have the top of this where it shows where this is? I know it's another country. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, I just saw this today from Peter Dow. He pointed it out, and it's fucking terrifying. Chevron is involved, so of course I tagged Steven Donziger because what the fuck? And this is so fucking frustrating. So you see something like that and there is no prepare or prepare for such a thing. I mean, that's water, that's air, that's
Yeah.
everything, and that's
Yep.
oil going into the water. So fucked up. Jesse, did you see that before?
I hadn't seen that until this evening.
I'm gonna pull this up. So what's your thought when you see something like that and you know that
I mean, the
like,
same, just how when we assault the environment, we don't do it in just one direction. We really, try to attack it from all angles. That's what we're best at.
yeah, and Biden is fucking literally selling over 800 million acres to the
Yep.
highest bidders
Yep.
for oil. And like we totally need more.
Right, exactly.
Let me see. I want to say it was Brazil, but I don't want to misquote. Okay.
Nigeria.
Okay. So yeah, like, and this shit is not an isolated incident.
Yeah.
But because we have cameras now, we can see this shit.
Exactly.
So where do we go from here? Now what? So we have all the oil there. We have fumes. People are going to be breathing that shit in.
Yep.
Where do we go?
The company that owns the tanker will donate 0.04% of their yearly profits and call it some massive humanitarian cleanup effort and jerk themselves off over it. And then it'll happen again a week later and we'll forget about this one.
Absolutely. And then we'll see all those Dawn commercials where they're, scrubbing the baby ducks and
cleaning a duck off. Yeah.
It's a feel good story. Actually, no, it's not.
Exactly.
It's sad as fuck.
Yep.
That's heartbreaking, and good for them for taking video and exposing those fuckers.
Yeah. Yep.
Andy, I think we have one more video. Oh, or a slide. Yeah, this made me so sad. Someone sent it to me, but it's so fucking true.
Yep. That's what the word assurances keeps getting thrown around. Like everybody who's trusted an assurance that the American government has made hasn't gotten completely shafted in the process. Like historically, show me the group of people or person that was made an assurance by the government that didn't just end up getting completely screwed over.
Absolutely. And, Biden loves his president, my boss, but he's not copying him. Like, take a cue from Obama with the one very, very, very few good things he did and let Julian out.
Yep. And, I think what makes me so mad is knowing that if, God forbid, I'm going to knock on wood, that Julian were to die in prison, I guarantee you people like AOC and Bernie would all be talking about, press freedom. And that's when it would be safe. Once he's been neutralized, then people would come out of the woodwork to start talking about how important he was, who couldn't be bothered when it had a chance to save him. And that's what's infuriating, is there are so many people that are staying silent because it's safe. And honestly, if Julian doesn't get out, safety is just a fucking thing of the past. I'm sorry. The precedent that sets has such implications in just everything. There's a piece I have about Julian called Conviction. And when I was writing it, at first I was like trying to stay on topic with Julian, but then I realized anything I want to talk about, I can come right back to talking about Julian and I can connect it. Because if there's something you want to dissent about or something you want to protest, your ability to be heard and how easy it is to silence you depends on what we allow to happen to people like Julian. It's overwhelming the amount of courage it takes, even after he'd already had the government coming after him and knew what he was up against, to continue releasing. In a fair and just world, we would be really lauding him for the fucking hero that he is. and not having people still know about, nominate him for another Nobel Prize. Like the first one didn't stop him from facing this. It's
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's so mind-blowing is, I was the last time I had Marianne Williamson on a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. She's a very big Julian supporter, and she's had Stephen Donziger on her show several times. And we did the show all about those two. And the thing I want people to understand is Julian is not a hacker. He's not a writer. He's nothing like that. Like, he literally just publishes information that is given to him. So one of the things Marianne and myself were talking about is, like, how, like, the Panama Papers, okay? It was given to the New York Times. Well, this would be the New York Times being in Belmarsh because they were the ones who published it. Julian is doing the same fucking thing.
And again, it bears repeating that WikiLeaks has never had to retract a story for a falsehood. that's
Never.
Who
the fuck else can say it?
Exactly.
I know who can't, but the list is too long. Seriously.
Yep.
But that's why he's such a threat.
Exactly.
Andy, you can go to the next one.
You can't let this happen, says fundraising email from sitting U.S. Congressperson. Oh, God.
I'm in Pennsylvania, and we have closed primaries. So every time, Bernard would run, I would have to register from independent to Dem to vote for him and then switch back. Well, when I switched to Dem, this is the kind of shit I get. I get texts, I get emails, and that's what it is. They're all like, don't let this happen.
I know. You literally, fundraising emails from Democrats always sound like they're locked in a closet. And like they've only got their phone and they're trying to get you to help them from outside or something. I need $27 so I can get this thing off the ground.
I always write back, and I'm like, especially if it's the DNC, I'm like, you want my money? How about you fucking give me my money back? About how much money you fucking stole from me when you cheated my candidate, and like, go fuck yourself. Like, and then when they send me stuff in the mail, I write all over it like, fuck you pieces of shit.
And you know what's funny is one of the pieces I wrote last week, I talked about that like for a while I thought I was going to just ignore those, but like, no, I'm going to be carpet bombing those people. I'm going to be writing paragraphs for those poor people.
No, you asked. This guy I know actually puts, how it's like postage paid by sender. So he takes all his junk mail, right? And he stuffs the envelope so that it costs them like $5 every time
fantastic.
He submits it back.
That's perfect.
It's brilliant. Andy, you can go to the next one. Queen.
Yup.
So, look, I shared this post. There is nothing wrong with this post. Jesse, can you read the one on the left, the meme that Susan shared?
Yes. Her meme was, if all these cops weren't needed for crime that day, doesn't that mean they aren't needed any day? Which is absolutely true when you see a fucking invading army's worth of police officers marching down the street.
Absolutely. And can you read these two?
The New York Post, yeah. So that was the NYC, is that PSA? Her comment was, this is what privilege looks like. A wealthy actress safe in her bubble, mocking heroes and making light of the crisis that cops are battling alongside our communities. NYC is uniting to stop the violence. Susan Sarandon is living on a different planet. And of course, the Fraternal Order of Police said, of all the days for Susan Sarandon to share her true feelings towards police, she picks the day where we bury our fallen brother to make such inflammatory and brainless comments. When you spend more time hating on cops than you do your own career, it's no wonder why you're a D-list actor. Okay, first of all, bitch, okay.
Yeah, she's connected to the Oscars and she's D-list.
Right, exactly. Come on.
Like, seriously, fuck you. And the fact that
Susan Sarandon is a household name, sir. Capital A-list.
Right? And she's against the death penalty, which is why you don't like her ass.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is, I didn't even know there was a funeral. Who the fuck is this guy? And how the fuck are we all supposed to know there's some funeral? And why the fuck are we supposed to
right?
everything to worship him?
Yeah. I just thought it was just them having a big public jerk off. But no, it was for the cop that died during a domestic disturbance call. And I was like, what, did he like accidentally shoot himself while he was threatening his wife or something?
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Well, the fact that they're like literally attacking her and being like, you know, boasting themselves up is so fucking disgusting.
Again, okay, that there is objectively, you look at that many cops on the street and you have many thoughts. One of them being, what the fuck? Two being like, who's doing cop stuff right now? It's a very valid point to make. And the fact that their deflection for that, like most of their deflections, is Susan Sarandon is just so desperate. It's such they've played that move out so many times now, you know?
And the whole point of this is because Eric Adams, isn't that his name? Eric Adams. He wants to increase the fucking budget in New York yet again. So that's the whole point of this tweet. Why do we keep funding these cops when they don't give a fuck about white supremacy? They kill innocent black people when they carry fucking candy and shit. Like, why are we getting more of them? So sorry, her point's legit. And I met this queen and I will stick up for her 24/7. So I was like, I posted the picture I have with her and I'm like, I'm just going to keep posting this shit every fucking time they make her tweet. And of course she likes it because she's a badass, but
it's still one of my highlights in the last couple years for all the music I've done. The 10 Demands song that I did with Awkward. I was at work one day and she had posted about it and like I actually like typed my name out in the tweet and I started like running around my job. It's like Susan Sarandon, just screaming at the top of, and they know me well enough that didn't really like turn any heads. There's no context needed. I may or may not have done that before in my couple of years there.
The first time I tagged you did that with me, right? No, but Susan followed me like on Twitter, I would say almost 3 years ago. And when she did, I'm not even gonna fucking lie. I legit sobbed.
That's a dance party kind of moment. It really is. She
follows like 800 people. Why the fuck is she following me? I don't know. But sometimes I check just to make sure she hasn't unfollowed me because I get paranoid.
Right?
Because she's just so fucking awesome. Oh my God, she's such a queen. So yes, anytime she trends, I'm like,
yep, get in there swinging.
Andy, you can show the next one. So this is so fucking offensive. They're banning all of these books that are so beautifully written and such a part of history. And also, I keep seeing my favorite book in the mix, which fucking kills me. Let me see. Oh, here's my phone case.
Oh.
Like, I see that there. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, this book changed my life. This is so fucked up. So this is a bookstore that literally has a book table when you walk in of banned books so that people can be like, oh, I'm going to read those. You're a dad. How do you feel about like your son not having, the ability to go to the library and read what he wants?
I'm wondering, looking at this, I have my doubts because this says 2020 banned books. And I feel like if a couple years ago they'd been trying to ban these, we would have heard like the Hunger Games, Handmaid's Tale, Anne Frank's Diary, Fahrenheit 451, Lorax, the first Harry Potter. I'm feeling like this is a very accurate what they would have banned, like since they're starting to try to talk about banning books now that all of a sudden there's this fever for it. I'm feeling like this was a cute thing that the store decided to do, of like, if this had been a road we'd already been down for a couple years, or if we keep going down that road, these would be books, like kind of where everything went to shit in people's minds, being 2020.
It could, but
I can't help but feel like if like Harry Potter and Fahrenheit 451 and Hunger Games had gotten, like, Lorax had gotten banned. I mean, God, if they'd tried to ban the Lorax, I'd be dressed like Rambo right now. I'd be parading through some publisher's office.
Well, there have been schools the past like 2 months. I've been covering them where like.
That could be school. That could be school books.
Yeah, these are school books.
Okay.
Like, these are books that have been removed from schools. They're always the same ones that are listed. And there has been a few schools the past few months that literally will start charging the parents if they do not report their kids that they brought these books home. And then if the librarians fail to report it further up the chain, they will be fired. So
okay,
here's some hardcore fascism.
So what it is all of those books have had a history of being banned somewhere in some form or another. Like Lorax in the late 80s, there was a school in California that banned it for a while, and so on. So not necessarily currently banned, but all of them have been banned in some way, shape, or form. So that makes a lot of sense. I mean, God, I grew up in Panama City in like Northwest Florida, which is kind of lower Alabama territory. And when the Harry Potter movies came out, there were a couple Baptist churches that were out protesting it with megaphones, yelling at the kids that they were practicing dark magic and they were going to go to hell. They protested Brokeback Mountain. I think it was just like one dude out in a lawn chair and a megaphone just screaming at people when they came to see it.
So now do they like Harry Potter since they found out J.K. Rowling is a
exactly. All of a sudden, like, well, maybe we were a little hard on her.
Yeah, right.
God.
You can put the next one up. So speaking of cops,
yeah,
where were they?
They're right there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, but where were they?
It's Florida. Those are the cops. Trust me.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, look at all these drawings. Like, that's legit an entire wall of the subway in DC. Those are bridges in Florida. Here's an entire march in Florida. Where are these so-called cops, like in uniform, that are protecting people? They're probably at a Black Lives Matter protest or, something like that. It's so fucking disgusting.
It really is.
Do you have, are you in a city or a town where you are?
Small city.
So do you have protests and stuff where you are?
No, we're close enough, like, Grand Rapids and Lansing, obviously. Well, Lansing being the state capital, we a lot of action there. But in 2020, we'd had Grand Rapids got pretty intense for a few nights in a row. So
I've gotten I'm right next to Harrisburg, so I have the Capitol steps right there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of protests that go on there, many that I've organized, but they do have white supremacist ones there. And let me tell you, the cops will go there, they will pat them on the backs. Like, I have pictures of the most fucked up shit. We will be counter protesting across the street, and they will all be standing with them. All of them.
Yep.
It's so disgusting.
Yep.
They're fucking, and that's why these neo-Nazis and stuff, they love the police. They love them. Because they know it's like one of us. One of us.
Yep.
Andy, you can put the next one up. Jesse, can you read this?
I sure can. The U.S. always wants to insert themselves into other countries' potential and current wars while blatantly ignoring the violence they're causing millions of us right here. The poor, the uninsured, underinsured, the homeless, the hungry. They bomb other countries to help people who don't want us there, to perpetuate the bullshit that we are saviors. They said they would end the war in Afghanistan while passing the biggest military budget in history. Furthermore, there was even more military-industrial complex money in the BBB. More money meaning more war. Wake up and smell the imperialism.
I'm
Very
getting
well
so
said.
frustrated with this fucking, this Ukraine and Russia shit. It's
Yeah.
What
Yep.
what are your thoughts on this take?
Again, that's their kind of most desperate last ditch play is if people are getting too mad about what's going on here, let's give them something to be mad about elsewhere and worry about, elsewhere. And that's kind of been historically what a president does if their numbers are in the toilet, is try to war everything right back to normal again. And God knows we love a good war in this country. So
Absolutely. Like, your numbers suck. Like, ask W how his numbers raised as soon as he started bombing a country who had nothing to do with anything. All of a sudden he's like some fucking hero.
And I mean, look at why people love Obama so much. The guy was just constantly bombing places. It's a numbers game, You want people to like you got to bomb the shit out of a whole bunch of poor countries.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, you can go to the next one. This is so fucking crazy. So we have to say jab and 219. But if for those who can't see it, that's actually dollar bills that say get V. Like, it's spelled out in dollar bills.
Yep.
Okay, if you guys don't,
it's spelled out in 20s. Lori Lightfoot's living large.
What's that?
Lori Lightfoot's living large. Those are 20s. There's a couple 5s, but there's 20s.
Dude, why did she have Get Out crazy eyes though? Like, those are the craziest fucking eyes.
It is that smirk. It's just, yeah.
Like, she looks diabolical as fuck. But like,
and what's with that carpet?
Jab, and I still think shit like this infuriates the fuck out of me, because people are like, oh, Pfizer's great because they're helping people for free. Listen, do your research. They have made billions.
Yep.
During C-19. Billions. And I don't know what she's trying to say with this, but that's that's symbolic right there. Those dollar bills.
Yep.
What's your thought when
I just love there's so much about it. I can't get over the rug with this pattern that looks like it was like a window cling that's starting to bubble up or something. Like there's just irregular air pockets.
That's a perfect description. I was like, why
I can see, I'm just imagining someone who's like on pills stepping on that rug a million times trying to pop those bubbles. Yeah, if you want to make the display and get your message out that way, do it. Whose idea was it? They're like, what if instead of just taking this picture from above, Lori, do you want to get in there and just kind of look up like you've got a body in your trunk and smirk at the camera? This really disturbing smile.
Yeah, we do not look maniacal at all. That's the look. Yes.
And again, every time I see her now, I always think of the first person that said she was like a Batman villain, because she absolutely does seem like she's about to just like leave you tied up dangling over the acid pit while she explains her whole plan to you. Like, that's her next move. It's just absurd.
And the best part about this is they probably took like 50 pictures, and this was the best one.
I will announce it right now. I'm willing to pay good money for whoever has the blooper reel from this photo shoot.
Yes, please.
I want to see the too big of a smile picture that they didn't use.
I want to zoom in. Andy, can you zoom in?
Oh, Andy, don't. No. Not do it, Andy.
Yeah, probably don't.
Hang on, no, do it. Do it if you can.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're about to get it with both barrels. He's about to really let us have it.
Oh,
trigger warning for the folks at home. You're about to get light-footed.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Andy, you can put up the next slide. Don't listen to me. I'm drunk. Don't listen to me. Oh no.
Oh, here we go. God, I wish I didn't have to go soon. I have to get out of here soon. Oh, here we go. We're about to zoom in. Dun 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 dun. Alpha Dominicus. Flip out
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay,
God, that's gonna
I'm
haunt me in my
really
dreams now,
fucking
Andy.
nasty, and I'm gonna regret this because I try not to talk about aesthetics. But do you remember the one guy on Howard Stern, Beetlejuice?
Yes.
He looks like him.
Oh God, I hadn't thought about him in forever.
Yeah,
Well, and
Beetlejuice. He was awesome.
I also get Beetlejuice, like the character of Beetlejuice vibes. I absolutely get, if she had a black and white pinstripe, well, I'm sure she owns a black and white pinstripe suit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's okay. I need my meme warriors out there. I need Lori Lightfoot as Beetlejuice. Like,
yes, start playing the song.
I think the world needs it.
And see if she starts dancing.
Yeah, right.
Like, or say Beetlejuice 3 times in the mirror.
Don't say her name 3 times out loud though. Whatever you do, I promise you. You don't do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Do it and tell me how it works out. Andy, you can put up the next one. Jesse, can you read this?
Yes. Learn the facts about state-by-state healthcare, such as Canada didn't do province by province because it was more advantageous. They did it because it was literally in their constitution that they had to. Passing state-by-state cannabis is working. Cannabis brings revenue to states. M4A would cost states money and you. Furthermore, the weed legalization process started in 1996, and they still only acquired about 20% of states. State by state gives all control to that state. There will be no uniformity and will give state government the ability to pick and choose what to include, just like certain Canadian provinces don't have dental and vision. And so much more. Do the research.
I know you and I have been talking about this state-by-state super PAC bullshit, red hat society, whatever the fuck it is. And there's so much misinformation and so many people are falling for it. So what are your thoughts on what also this was a response to a dear friend of mine, Jeff Ginter. He wrote an excellent article on breaking down the fallacies with what state by state people are trying to push. And if you research, you'll find that it's completely untrue and not advantageous at all.
Yeah.
But what is your take on, the state by state and everything like that?
I mean, exactly that. It could be argued that yes, doing state by state could be beneficial in some areas, but I think we've seen once a state can whittle something down and change something and pervert it back into something that doesn't work for people, they will. And the easiest way for us to be able to assert pressure to get what we want is if that something is universal coverage. I feel like, especially state by state, then you are having to go through the channels of electoral politics. And I feel like it's been pretty clear that is a death sentence for Medicare for all. Yeah. If it wasn't, we would have gotten somewhere other than just dismissive, try again next year, perpetual, being pushed off. We're not getting anything.
This is means testing. State by state is settling. It's breadcrumbs. It's I got mine. Like they want to bring up stuff like, cannabis legalization. Well, I mean, how many of those people in the states with now legalized weed still fight and protest for the other states to get it? Like none. So we're taking a, entire country strategy to give, and, the people who had this, they're in the state of Pramila Jayapal, who literally wrote the bill.
Yep.
So, I mean, how advantageous. What about people like me who are fucking disabled, who have, countless dollars in medical bills, how is that going to help me and the millions of other people if you get health care.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to have the millions of
Exactly.
black and brown people and the millions of poor people?
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to help anyone else besides you within those borders? And how's it going to help you if you dare to move out of state?
Exactly. Yep. Once you just pacify a few states worth of people, then it just dwindles down the number of people fighting for national health care.
Absolutely. It's settling. We
Yep.
can't
And then they can change
settle.
their shit a year later if they want to. They'll just be like, oh, sir, we're tweak. And suddenly, oh, here's a whole bunch of, yeah.
Yeah, it is fucking breaking my heart to see people I have marched in the street with now suddenly like, yeah, this is a change. Yeah, we need to try this.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. Join the establishment. Said no revolutionary ever. This is not a can't beat them, join them kind of bullshit.
Yep.
No,
we're fighting for healthcare. We're not fighting for access.
And the website doesn't even say Medicare for all on the super PAC. It literally says healthcare reform. This shit doesn't need reforming. This shit needs to be burnt the fuck down and rebuilt.
Yep.
So it's really tearing, our movement apart, and it's teaching us so much about who is willing to settle for incrementalism. These state by state are ableist and I'll say it, fucking racist too. Because you're leaving way too many people out. It's privilege. So, and anyone who's watching, if you have a healthcare story, like you went through some medical, issues, if you have medical bills, if you work in a hospital, anything like that, please send me a 4-minute or less video. We have something huge coming out in the next 2 days that is going to be fucking ginormous, and we want everyone who wants to participate to join us. So I digress. Andy, can you put up the next one? What is that?
I think that's Beetlejuice from Howard Stern.
Oh! Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god. Oh my god, doppelganger. Oh my god, you're making me cry. Oh, this person wrote this and then blocked me immediately, but I was saying that, people are okay that we're watching Eugenics of the Poor, and that was her response. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be fucking nice.
God.
I'm nice to people I care about and nice to people who help people.
Yep.
Like, this is the problem. I don't tweet nice things, so therefore my, opinion is irrelevant. And I know you were saying you get some shit too. But that means we're doing something right.
Doing something right, exactly.
If people weren't saying things like this to me, I'd be like, I've lost my street cred.
Exactly.
Andy, you can put up the next one. Oh, I just figured this was kind of perfect.
Yep.
Andy, you could go to the next one. These are just silly. I thought this was so rad. Someone sent this to me, and I was like, it's fucking brilliant.
Yep, that's awesome.
I love it. Andy, you could go to the next. Okay, so I want to ask you, what's going on in his head?
I feel like the dial-up modem sound.
Oh my god, that's so true. To me, I see okay, so you know those capuchin monkeys with the symbols?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I see them in his brain I don't know. I think we're both right. Andy, chime in. What do you think? Or did he shard himself again?
I'm
It could be both.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's the look of someone who's had a small child pulling too hard on their pant leg.
OMG, Andy. I was trying not to go.
And then he
there.
disappears into the night, and that's Andy, folks. There he goes.
Yes. Oh my god, Andy, you can put up the next one. I think there's like one more. Okay, so tomorrow is one of the most important shows you will ever see me do. Temujin Kensu has been, he's in Michigan, actually. He has been wrongly incarcerated for 35 years. I will be interviewing him from prison again. And this man needs to be released, like now. His papers have been on Gretchen Whitmer's desk for years. He got a new trial 10 years ago, and when she was found not guilty, but she still isn't taking the paperwork seriously. 35 fucking years. This man has been in prison. So again, I'm going to be talking to him for a few hours through prison. It's not fun trying to set these up, but
Yeah.
he's worth it. He's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person. He is so incredible, and we need to free him. We have to. So please, if you ever watch one of my shows, please let it be tomorrow. This man deserves to be out and living his life. Yeah. So it's going to air tomorrow at 10. I have to do it on Zoom because he's not allowed to have video.
Oh, yeah.
At the prison. So he's going to be audio, and me and Mira are going to be video. So we're going to post it at 10. Please, please, please tune in. Please call Gretchen Whitmer. Please send it to your reps. Anything you can do. Anything. So thank you. Please tune in and watch that and try to help Temujin. Andy, do we have anything else?
You are free.
Thank you, Saya. Well, thank you so much, Jesse, for joining me tonight. I was kind of shocked we never did a show together.
I know, right?
It's fucking weird. But I do play you every week, twice a week. So, you're still with me in my shows. So I am going to have Jesse close us out. I want another opportunity to hear that beautiful voice. So thank you all so much for watching. Please smash that like button, share, subscribe. Andy, thank you so much for being my eyes. And again, this is Jesse Jett. Please follow and keep up with his music and support him.
All right, let's. All right. It's not quite the same without Nancy Pelosi saying "Good morning, Sunday morning," but this is this is Sunday morning number 40. Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. You said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. See, Nancy's gonna cut you a check too late.
2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of those dollars she saved. Watching you ache, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Watch us be outraged half of a day and pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing a game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. But flash forward in 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people in its wake, and a cruise ship sailed today. Some motherfucker don't shine a light in my face. Wait. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal and the world is not the same. You said you waited for warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. You said you waited for the warning, but the warning never. And that's Sunday Morning 40.